As a kid, I was absolutely obsessed with the Guinness Book of World Records, and I never would have imagined that I'd actually end up in it, but this tiny goat might actually be my ticket. So this is a baby that's about the size of most of the babies that are born on the farm. This is, as you can see, significantly smaller. But before we talk about this little muffin, I want to talk about my first foray into unintentional micro goats, and that was the internet sensation that was Milk Dud. Some of you may remember April the giraffe that was somehow super late in giving birth and then had the cutest little baby giraffe, and the internet was absolutely obsessed. And now there's Mudang in Thailand, the tiny baby hippo that really loves biting people's knees, which I feel like he learned from our pig Lucy. Milk Dud was like our version of those. Come here, baby. Don't mind me. Right through the hole. What's funny is I built this little divider thinking that no baby goat could actually fit through those holes. Boy, was I wrong. It was March of 2020. In case you forgot what happened in March of 2020, there was kind of a lot going on in the world.
In their most clear warning yet, the CDC all but promises that the coronavirus will spread here and that Americans need to prepare. So
many question marks and fear and absolute uncertainty about what the future of our lives would look like. And suddenly, this teeny tiny, really precious goat made an appearance, and along the way built an enormous online following. Like, I don't even have a Reddit account, but somehow she built up a following of 22,000 people who were daily checking to see if there was new baby Milk Dud updates. All right, I don't know if there's like a full moon coming or whatever, but the goats are acting insane. What is happening, you guys? This is chaos. Oh, little Tiny here is trying to nurse off of one of the other babies' ears, which actually is a really bad habit long term because they can mess up the skin on their ears, but it's really cute. So as I shared Milk Dud with the world, for a little while there I was pretty sure that no one actually cared about following me anymore. They just wanted to know about Milk Dud the goat. And that's why when she got pneumonia and nearly died, I was like, oh no. Oh no. There's already so many bad things happening in the world right now. I cannot be responsible for letting this tiny little goat die. I'm gonna throw everything I have at it, do all the research, do all the readings, and give her every single possible hope I can give her, because she also was the tiny piece of hope that so many other people were clinging to in such a difficult time. And in that, things got a little ridiculous. She was starting to develop a little respiratory infection, but we caught it before it turned into pneumonia, which is fantastic. She's gonna be just fine. She gets to be a house goat at night, and Adam's already approved it. Well, actually, we didn't ask him, but it's just gonna happen. So yeah, we had a little house goat for a little while, and it was ridiculous. Oh, Johnny, you don't want me to pet the goat with both hands? Okay, I can pet you both. One of the major question marks with absolute tinies like this, will they be able to have babies? Is it even wise to let them have babies? Because Milk Dud was so small, I never intended to breed her. So I had kept her separate from all of the other goats during breeding season and everything else. But that little harlot backed right up to the fence and somehow got pregnant through a fence line. When I actually realized Milk Dud was pregnant, I was wrecked. I was just looking at Milk Dud and petting her, and I noticed that her udder is starting to form, and that's the sign that a birth is pending. Because as if trying to bring her through her whole pneumonia scare and just keep her alive so that nobody in the pandemic just lost it with another good thing going to absolute crap, I felt like I had failed her and the rest of the whole world too. To think that a mistake that I made would have put him in danger is, it's tough to swallow. As worried as I was for the remainder of Milk Dud's pregnancy, hilariously, everything worked out totally fine. And believe it or not, Milk Dud, the smallest goat I had ever before seen, gave birth to the biggest baby we've ever had, at 5.6 pounds at birth. Look at this. It's so big. It's too big.
You're too big.
So of course we named her Whopper. And here's where animal genetics are really funny, because it's only been 4 years, but Milk Dud is now a great-great-grandmother. I want to take a second to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video and making the making of videos like this possible. I've been using BetterHelp since 2020 when I needed to find a therapist but couldn't leave my house. And in the process, I realized that BetterHelp actually automatically helped me solve a ton of the issues I had faced in the past when it came to finding a good therapist. I'm not super good at making phone calls or scheduling things in advance or figuring out insurance paperwork, or let's be honest, even leaving the farm. But BetterHelp solves all that and more. You fill out a quick questionnaire, you get quickly matched with a therapist, and hopefully you and that therapist get along great. But if you don't, switching a therapist on BetterHelp is super easy as well. You can use their online scheduling platform to schedule your next appointment. If you need to reschedule a therapy appointment, like I recently had to do because for whatever reason my therapist did not want to witness a live goat birth, it is super easy to do that within the app. So if you are struggling with something and you feel like talking to someone might help, let me first say that there is absolutely no shame in asking for help. In fact, I kind of see it as a superpower. Check out BetterHelp, and if you use the code ANNOFALLTRADES, you'll get a 10% discount on your first month of therapy. Over the years, I've gotten kind of famous for waiting for animal births. Of 128 animals born on our farm so far, I have only missed 3. To the credit of a lot of the people that criticize my excitement about the birth process and my insistence on being there, animals have, yes, had babies in the wild without human assistance since the beginning of time. I've only had to intervene a handful of times, but those small handful of times, it was life or death that I actually be there to intervene, and I am so glad for the 3 babies that did make it, and their mom who lived through this harrowing experience, that I was actually there at the time of their birth. Okay, somehow while I was telling that story, the baby escaped out of this tiny crack in the gate, and now I don't know where she is, so we gotta find her. Hey buddy, where are you? It's so small. Buddy, where did you go? Oh, here you are, you little buddy. Okay, let's talk about her birth story. This is Baby, the tiny baby's mom, and I totally realize now as we're trying to make a video about it how confusing it is for me to have named this goat Baby, so bear with me. While Farmer Adam was up at the house when this whole thing started, the first baby that Baby had was enormous and in the wrong position. Baby herself is actually a pretty small goat, hence her name, and in those situations, when you have a large baby and it's not in the right position, if you're not there, mama and babies are pretty much done for. I have a kidding positions worksheet pinned up in the barn so that whenever I am in a stressful birth situation, I can just look at it, imagine those pictures in my mind, close my eyes, and if I have to go in and look for anything with my hand, then I know what I'm looking and feeling for. And this was no exception. So I had to go in after him and reposition him so that he could actually come out. That baby ended up coming out just fine. Farmer Adam got down here and started filming, and he got the rest of the process. Baby number 2 was very small. Baby number 3 was tiny. And then baby number 4 gave us some problems. It's not breathing. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy. Unfortunately, you can't save them all. It's never easy when things don't go the way that we planned or the way that we'd like. As happy as these moments are, some of them are twinged with a lot of sadness. Farming has taught me one of the weirdest truths about life, and that is the greater the depth of grief and sadness and trauma that we've experienced, the greater the joy we're capable of feeling. Especially with these. Like, what's not to love? What's not to celebrate? What's not to see as going right with the world? So here's the moment of truth. Did we have a world record tiny goat? I mean, this is not that goat. This is actually an enormous baby goat. Or do we just have a kind of small one? Milk Dud, the internet sensation goat I was telling you about before, was exactly 1 pound at birth, 16 ounces. The world record that was recently reset is a baby goat that weighed 15 ounces, so 1 ounce less than Milk Dud. So we weighed baby number 1. All right, let's see about this monster. Almost got a hernia picking you up. All right, Bubba, here we go, into the bucket. Oh, just hold still for 1 second, just 1 second. Okay, we're at a solid 3.2729 pounds. 3.29 pounds for this monstrosity. And then we weighed baby number 2. Okay, okay. Into the bucket for 1 second. There you go, Bubba. 2.27 pounds. And as we weigh baby number 3, remember, this is the teeny one. And the recently reset world record that we're trying to beat is 15 ounces, or just under 1 pound. And she weighs 1 pound, 1.15. Oh my gosh, you little monster. You're enormous. Just kidding, that's really small. Like, unbelievably small. So we didn't break the world record, but I was consoled just a few hours later when my other goat, Jolene, went into labor and had an absolutely flawless delivery of twin baby girls that were enormous. One weighed in at 4.1 pounds, the other weighed in at 4.8 pounds. We have a really hilarious dichotomy here. If we convert their weights to ounces, it actually gets way more funny. So this fat little lard right here is 76.8 ounces. This dainty little muffin is 17 ounces. 76.8, 17. It is so wild to me that these two goats that are the same species, that have the same genetics, that came out of related mothers, would be so astronomically different in size, but still, hopefully, healthy, well-adjusted little muffins. All right, little buddy, you didn't get me in the Guinness Book of World Records, but I am definitely gonna do my very best to help you absolutely thrive, okay? And all you have to do is stay cute. I will see you in the next video. Cheers!